Hello, and welcome to Eden Live, where I am reading all of Eden by FREI live on Facebook and on YouTube, and the recorded clips then make their way onto Instagram, IGTV. We are on the Planet Walk, also in the Planet Walk, the Eden miniature that's called The Planet Walk, Volume 5 of Eden by FREI. If you are watching this live, then I apologize that we're going out slightly later than usual, but I know that most of you watched this in your own sweet time anyway, and for you, it will not make any difference at all. So let's get back straight into it. We are approaching Saturn. Dione, Tethys, Mimas, Enceladus. Your friendly moon's names sound like characters to me in a pastoral play. Even Titan and Iapetus, they have been overthrown, in the pantheon no longer, neighbours now living downstairs or to wave at across the street. Your rings, though no more mysterious now than you, are delicate still, and you are inviting too. Against thy will, methinks, like the old rustic who grumbles at first, and enjoys the thought of himself as forbidding, but turns out to be at heart quite congenial. I am at the stage now where I feel there are fewer surprises. Fewer certainties too, and fewer woes. Fewer intransigencies and fewer instances of despair. That can only, I sense, be a good thing. Journeying has put me at ease with myself. I feel millions of miles away still from where I envisage I should be, but this seems natural now, and of little concern. The here-ness and there-ness of it all, the potencies of the potential, the meta-nomenclature of the id. The closer I get to being myself, the more I disperse myself across the quanta of energy, thought, in substantive meanderings that then turn out to make sense after all, at some point, at some level, in some way, not conscious perhaps, but innocuous, calm. I sit down on one of these rings and let my legs dangle in the brook of what looks from afar like a void that surrounds it, and my toes tingle at the excitement of being and wriggle with a childlike and clean and unjaded joy. They haven't walked as far yet, by far as it seems. They have simply strolled over the meadows of this spacescape, this English garden, this hermitage. I feel my thin body, pale and slender, but resilient and robust, as it was back then when I was a boy. It never preoccupied itself with itself. The etherealness of it all, the curiousness, and always, always the wonder. Nobody joins me yet, and maybe none ever will now, and it saddens me not. I am free. From where I perch on my borrowed bank, my legs suspended, my hand, the left one, playing with marbles, the molecules, the droplets, the pebbles, and the wisps of yellow-blue algae that get trapped in my fingers, cool and gentle, soft and strong. My eyes inclined toward what lies below and therefore what also above, my face reflected Reminiscent perhaps, after all, of Narcissus, though he, I know, does not belong here any more than he does on Mercury. My lips catch my attention, and for a fleeting moment I wish me a one for them to be kissed. The longing, the curiosity still, and the awe. I am on the brink, I realize, and at this point, sooner or later, there does come the point where you have to decide. Do you jump, assuming that you will fly, or don't you, fearing that you might drown? Why do I do this from here and not where I started? Have I conspired with circumstances to maneuver myself onto the fence of a planet whose patron is the god of the farmer, of all things, to finally return to the George in me and embrace him as much as release him in exactly the same gesture, at exactly the same time, for exactly the same reasons and to exactly the same end? It wouldn't surprise me. Hardly anything would. The universe finds a way. Of that I have long been certain, and whatever happens next is bound to happen, just as what happened before was in its own liquid way quite inevitable. All the querulousnesses of adversaries, they were friends in disguise. All the insurmountablenesses of obstacles, varied and frequent, and each in its own right, unreasonable, from here, from this Tholin perspective, rotating at speed and wobbly a little bit, drunk on the juices of life, but steady and safe in myself now, as far as there even exist such notions as steadiness, safety, and self, look irrelevant now and benign. My right hand that has been holding on to the ice, to the carbon, the substance, such as there was, in a vain grip on something the brain interpreted as a reality still, after only another decade or so of faint hesitation, lets go, and, much as expected, I sink not, and nor do I soar. I float once again, now earthwards, I'm sure. Saturn, on the planet walk. Only 2 more to go in this volume before there will be a complete change of register and tone again. When we start with the tape, which is in fact an autobiographical, much more literal journey through Europe, compared to this very poetic, metaphorical journey through the solar system. Till then, this is going to happen on Wednesday, today being Monday. Until then, do take good care of yourself, stay safe and sane if you can, and love and let love, and see you.